Stephanie with Minimalist Mom Life. Welcome back to my channel. I apologize for the sun that's going to go in and out over my face, but natural lighting. So I am finally getting to the rest of my Q&A series that I've done of frequently asked questions. I did the first video on my journey to minimalism, and then the second one was on minimalism and contentment. So the questions that I still have left that I get often, I think I can answer pretty quickly. So we're going to try and get this video under 10 minutes, and I'm going to get right to your questions. Was your husband also a minimalist before you got married? So no, but he also didn't have a ton of stuff. He doesn't have a lot of hobbies that require a lot of stuff. He likes to travel and play sports, so there wasn't a ton of stuff. As I mentioned in my my journey to minimalism video, right before we got married, my husband moved to South Carolina for a position in ministry, and we picked out an apartment there that was very, very small and very, very inexpensive, so we could save a lot of money. And because of that, he moved just with what was in his car when he moved there, and he had to get rid of a lot of stuff. So he started off our marriage having to get rid of a lot of stuff simply because of our decision to save a lot of money and get a small apartment. So that helped out a lot. What will you do about minimalism when your kids are older? So I think it's always easier to start out anything like, you know, when you get married and you make decisions of what your family's going to be like and your values, it's easier to live those out than to change 10 years into marriage or to change things when your kids are 12, right? Like it's easier whatever they've grown up with. So I don't worry too much about keeping things simple as my kids are older. But I get this question a lot from people who are starting minimalism and their kids are already older. And I would say my thoughts on it as the older my kids get, the more freedom they get as long as they're responsible. So when my boys are older and they have their own room and they want to collect Legos, or I don't know what boys are into, but if they have a lot of sports equipment or stuff and it's more than I would want in the rest of my house, I'm going to give them the freedom to have that because I want their bedroom to be their space. I want to continually getting them more and more ready for adulthood and being off in college, giving them more freedom as long as it's within the healthy boundaries of what our family believes in. But I don't think stuff is bad, and I think everybody has a different love of stuff, and so I'm not going to make my boys only have one football if they have like 4 different sizes of footballs, or you know, whatever the thing is. I'm going to allow them to have that as long as it's a space they can still take care of. And that doesn't mean I go through with like a white glove making sure there's no dust in their room, but as long as they can keep their space tidy and be responsible for their stuff, I'm going to allow them to have as much of it as they want and can afford. I think if I was starting out in minimalism, again, I'm not a parent to teenagers, so I'm not going to put my foot in my mouth and say all these things, and it might end up being different. But I think I would just allow them to have their bedroom be the space that they want it to be, worry about simplifying the rest of your house, and give them the freedom to have the bedroom that they want to be. I think of it like when my boys are older and they're like, oh, I want my room bright orange. Well, I'm not ever going to have our living room be bright orange, but that doesn't mean I can't let them have the bedroom be bright orange because I want to give them their space to be who they are. So that's kind of what I envision, what I think of when I think of minimalism as my kids get older. What about homeschool supplies of having enough manipulatives and curriculum for each child? So, right, and where will you store it? So, right now we keep everything in our kitchen, and I still have a lot of empty space in the kitchen that I could add more to. We are not really officially homeschooling yet, and still praying about that for the coming years. Martin would be ready for TK this year, which is transitional kindergarten, basically kids who don't turn 5 in time. So we are doing homeschooling. I mean, I'm looking for his first grade math book right now because he just finished off a kindergarten math book. So we do stuff like that now, and I keep all that in the kitchen. That would be my plan if we continue to homeschool. I would just say that, yeah, have a space in your house for it, but don't feel obligated to have all of the stuff and all of the manipulatives and all of the different teacher workbooks and all of the millions of things. I think you can get really carried away with homeschooling because you're just passionate about it and you're excited and you want to make sure you're giving your child everything they could possibly maybe get in public school or Christian school. But I plan to just not get carried away. I like things simple. I was homeschooled and my mom did not have a ton of stuff. So yeah, that's just kind of my plan to continue, and it will fit in the kitchen. And if we have to downsize more kitchen stuff because we really needed more stuff, we would. But that is my plan with homeschool stuff. Do you save clothes to hand down? I get this question so much. No, I do not. My boys are 4, 3, and 2, and Lucy's 8 months old. So I will say Lucy first, being my little girl. She's had hand-me-downs from like my sister and stuff, and that's been awesome. I don't save her stuff though because we don't plan to have more babies other than we know we'll adopt again. We do plan to do foster care, whether that's to adopt or adopt internationally. That's a whole other story. But we do plan to do that in a couple years, but who knows if we would get a baby girl or if she'd be the same size or the same season. I'm not going to hold on to stuff for the ifs when I know somebody else could use it right now. So we do not keep anything from her after she outgrows it. We give it to people, not to Goodwill, but usually to somebody that we know wants it. I mean, I don't mind giving it to Goodwill, but I like to see when you have nice stuff, there's someone you know you could just bless it with for free. I've enjoyed it when people have done that for us. With my boys, since Lucy included, we don't buy a ton of stuff for them, so they do usually wear it out, especially jeans. There's no way they can hand me down jeans. There's always holes in them. Shoes, they have like 2 pairs of shoes usually at a time. They're too rough on those to ever hand me down those. And then they don't have a ton of shirts. And because they are so close in age, especially like my 4-year-old and 2-year-old, they can almost wear the same thing when it comes to shirts. Because the size difference between like a 3T and a 4T is not very much. So if George does outgrow something, he's my second boy, but actually my biggest boy, then they're all in the same closet. So it would just, even if he's not wearing it anymore, it would stay in the same closet, and, you know, Martin would be the next one to wear it. So in that sense, I hand me down, but I don't pack anything away to bring out later. I don't buy, we do live in a colder place now, but I don't buy a ton of long sleeves and a ton of short sleeves and have these different wardrobes. It's all there at the same time. So the long sleeves stay up, the short sleeves stay up all year round, and we just wear stuff as we wear stuff. But I don't save anything, and I wouldn't recommend doing that either. If you're worried about the budget side of not saving clothes for the next kid, just don't buy a lot of clothes next time. Like, your kids just don't need, you know, 15 different t-shirts and 7 different pairs of pajamas and on and on and on. Like, I think I would rather buy them a couple of new things every couple of months, you know, every few months as they need it, and let them just wear that out than constantly be buying and adding to their wardrobe and then feeling like I needed to hand me that down because money was spent on that. So yeah, that's the question on that. How do you give gifts? So I thought this was interesting because I usually get asked about receiving gifts with minimalism, but this is a question about how I give gifts. I will say there's nothing wrong with stuff. Stuff is not an enemy. So if I know somebody's going to enjoy something that is stuff, I will happily give that to them. I love gift giving when I know I'm giving someone what they want. I don't like gift giving when I'm just buying stuff hoping that they like it and hoping they don't already have it. So I have no problem with giving actual gifts when I know somebody wants something. But if I don't know what to give them, then I love giving World Vision Gifts, which is an awesome organization. I've linked them down below in several of my videos. I'll try to remember doing this one. They're a Christian organization that helps people basically get out of poverty and goes to disaster situations in America and third world countries and helps out. So an example of the way you can give a gift with them is you can give for like $25 2 rabbits to a family in Papua New Guinea, right? And then those rabbits breed and they eat the rabbits and they sell the rabbits, and it helps get them started kind of their own business. You can buy a Bible in somebody's honor for somebody in, you know, Southeast Asia where Christians are being persecuted, different things like that. And it gives you a card, and in honor of Johnny's 3rd birthday, you gave such and such to such and such place. So it's a neat learning experience if you're giving it to a child or even an adult for how the rest of the world lives and how you're doing something, you know, and thinking of them, but blessing somebody else who really needs that blessing. So that's my favorite way to gift give if I don't know what somebody actually wants. The gift cards are fun too. I don't mind, and I don't mind giving money either. I don't know why there's such a thing about that. I feel like, you know, if you don't know what to give somebody and you don't want to do a World Vision gift because it might, I don't know, offend them or something, then I don't think there's anything wrong with giving money. Those are all the questions that I get frequently that I felt like I could answer in a video in under 10 minutes. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you have any other questions, definitely leave them down below. I may send you to a video because a lot of questions I get I have already answered before in videos and I don't want to be repetitive. But I hope you all enjoyed this and you have a wonderful weekend, and I'll talk to you on my next video.